Hi and welcome to this video. I'm Lauren and on this channel I make lots of different art and I've been working on a really exciting book project where I have been writing a short story over the last couple of weeks. I've posted one video already with chapters 1 to 7 and today we're diving into chapters 8 through to 14. So if you haven't seen the first video, definitely check that out first and then come back and watch this video for more of the story. For this short story, I've been doing the writing and each of the chapters is based on the Inktober prompts. That was when I started the story in October and I'm carrying on with it because life got busy and I definitely wanted to give this project the time that it deserves. So I'm carrying on with it and yeah, this is also going to show you today. I'm going to read aloud the chapters as well as showing you the process of creating the illustrations for the story. And yeah, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and follow along for more exciting art videos like this. So just a little bit of a backstory to the story so far. My main character is Jenny Rose, and so far in the story, she has moved into a house that she's inherited from family she didn't know, as well as having met her neighbor Charlie, who is really interesting and nice character. And the story so far is a little bit of adventure, a little bit of romance, and a little bit of mystery. So let's get into the story. Chapter 8, Reckless. Just as Jenny was unfolding the paper of the letter, she heard a man shouting, "Whoa, Daisy, whoa, easy girl." Jenny dropped the letter down and ran to the nearest window. She saw a horse and packed cart hurtling down the driveway in the property. The driver was going at such a reckless speed that it almost looked like he wasn't going to be able to stop in time. Jenny ran through the house and opened the front door just as the driver pulled the horse and cart to a dangerous sharp stop. A man with brown hair and green eyes greeted Jenny with a smile. "Hi, ma'am. I'm Charlie. I live on the property next door. I wanted to welcome you with a couple of fresh vegetables and fruits from my farm." Jenny, still in slight shock from watching them hurtle into the property, shakingly reached out her hand to shake his and said, "Hi, I'm Jenny, and thanks, that's really kind of you." Daisy the horse promptly let out a snort. Charlie ran to grab a carrot from the load to give to his horse. "She's a wild one, Miss Daisy. Goes at her own speed," he said as he stroked her mane lovingly. "She's gorgeous," Jenny said, looking admiringly. "But whoa, I was scared you guys weren't going to stop." "She really keeps me on my toes," Charlie responded as he started unloading beautiful cabbages, carrots, and oranges. "How long have you been living here?" Jenny asked. "Too long. But I'm really happy to see someone giving this old place life again," Charlie said, looking up at the house. "It's really nice to be able to have a neighbor again," he continued with a big smile. Together, they unloaded the cart. Chapter 9, Heavy. Once they had unloaded all the heavy vegetable and fruit boxes onto the ground next to the cart, Jenny looked at Charlie and said, "I think we deserve an ice-cold drink after all this. Thanks again for bringing these. It's really a lovely welcome gift." "No problem at all. Anything you need, just let me know," Charlie responded with a smile on his face. Jenny motioned for Charlie to follow her inside so they could get a drink. "I don't want to be rude, but I really have to be getting back to the farm. I have some tasks I need to attend to. Let's take a rain check on that drink. I'd love one another time," Charlie said. Jenny didn't know why, but she felt a little bit disappointed he couldn't stay longer. Maybe it was the big empty house and the fact that Charlie seemed really nice. "Absolutely, let's definitely meet again," Jenny responded, hiding her disappointment. They exchanged contact details, and Charlie waved as he guided Daisy the horse back down the road and out the property. Chapter 10, Sweep. Jenny spent the rest of the day cleaning rooms and playing over the events of the morning in her mind. She was so grateful she had a kind neighbor, and a handsome one at that. Jenny quickly caught herself in that thought and said aloud, "Hang on a minute, Jenny. Don't get ahead of yourself." As Jenny continued to sweep the floor in the grand lounge room, she thought back to all the years she had been single. She had just never met the right person, and after years of dating and short-lived romances, she had just about given up on love. Come back to the present, Jenny thought before she got too emotional. I'm in this amazing house that I now own. I have a beautiful garden to create. I am blessed beyond measure. My life is filled with love and joy in many other ways. Jenny went through her affirmations aloud, the ones that had gotten her to this place and time. Jenny didn't know it yet, but at that exact moment, a few kilometers away, on the farm fields as he worked, Charlie was also thinking about the wonderful woman he had met that morning. Chapter 11. Sting. Charlie had been born in a farming family. His family had owned this farm for many years long before he was born. He loved working the land and was the only member of his family still in the area. His two brothers had been enticed by corporate jobs in the city, and his sister knew farming wasn't for her right from her teenage years when she'd been given her first clothing allowance. She'd also run off to the city to pursue a career in fashion. Along with a few workers on some days, Charlie handled the farm solo. That same afternoon, Charlie had let the workers off early, as he was usually enjoyed doing the field plowing himself. It was almost a ritual to him, working the soil before planting a new crop. From years of experience, Charlie knew the secret to farming was in the soils. Good soils meant a good crop. As Charlie worked his way down the rows of dirt on the tractor, he felt a very sudden, sharp pain in his arm. He looked down just as a hornet flew off. This was a sting like no other, and worst of all, Charlie was really allergic to stings. With his arm starting to swell and the pain spreading, Charlie reached for his phone, and the only person he could think to call was Jenny. Chapter 12. Shredded. Jenny didn't have time to be surprised by Charlie's call. She sprang straight into emergency mode, grabbed her medical kit with antihistamines in it and shredded clean cloths, dug in the freezer for ice packs, and jumped in her car. The only reason she knew what to do for Charlie was because she too was allergic to certain stings, and she had come to South Africa prepared for lots of insects. Charlie had said he was on his field and wasn't certain he could drive the tractor back. She didn't know exactly where she was going, but as if by some miracle, she spotted Charlie and the tractor not too far from the entrance to his farm. Jenny drove over in the plowed field and jumped out the car. Charlie was bright red in the face, sitting on the ground next to the tractor and clutching his arm. "I'm really sorry about the tire tracks on your plowed field," Jenny said as she knelt beside Charlie and opened her medical kit. Charlie looked like he couldn't really respond, and he didn't look well. Jenny quickly popped the antihistamine into his mouth and gave him water. He was able to swallow, so that was a good sign. "This should help for the pain and swelling," Jenny said as she quickly poured cold water on the shredded cloth, wiped the sting area, and tied an ice pack onto the sting spot with the cloth. Jenny guided Charlie to her car and drove him back to her house. She knew where everything was there, so she figured until he felt better, it was the safer bet. Chapter 13. Drink. Charlie felt a bit embarrassed that this was the way they were meeting for the second time. Jenny had been amazing. She had ushered him onto the couch and had been monitoring him very closely for severe allergic reaction. Luckily, though, within about 30 minutes, Charlie was starting to feel a bit better. Besides the pain of the sting and swelling of his arm, he didn't seem to be having any major allergic reactions. "You've really been my lifeline today. Thank you for coming to help me," Charlie said to Jenny gratefully.
We're so far from a hospital. I don't know what I would have done without you, Charlie continued. Jenny smiled kindly and said, I'm just glad you're okay. She really was glad he had called her. She didn't want to imagine what would have happened if he hadn't. Okay, so I don't know how you'll feel about this, but I do believe it is finally time for us to share that drink, Jenny said with a light tone. This has been one crazy day. Let's drink to your health and us being at the end of this day, Jenny suggested with a smile as she got up to get some drinks. Chapter 14 Trunk. When Jenny came back into the lounge with a tray of drinks, she bought the letter she'd found in the library earlier. I was hoping you could help me go through this letter I found upstairs. I think it might have some clues about this house and the Mackenzie family, Jenny asked Charlie, hoping to distract him from the pain of the hornet's sting. Absolutely, Charlie said. I'd love to know more. My family didn't really know the Mackenzies. They kept very much to themselves. Jenny pointed out the starfish emblem. I think this must mean something. True, it's possible the family had some connection or business dealings to do with the ocean, Charlie pondered. Jenny nodded and asked, also, why does Madeline Mackenzie have a crown on in her portrait? That doesn't seem very South African. Jenny opened the letter and read the contents aloud. The letter read, Dear Albert, I hope this letter finds you and Madeline well. As per your request, I have gathered all the items and personal effects I could locate. They are within a trunk that will arrive with this letter. I trust, as we spoke about, you will keep the details private as not to upset the involved parties. I consider our agreement settled and final. Kind regards, Matthew MacDonald. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. If you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe and follow along for more of the story soon.